I recently read an article called The End of White Liberal Christian Optimism. I really didn't know what to make of it, but the headline caught my attention. And as I began reading it, it seemed at first like a political piece about political issues and policies. But as I got into it, it became clear that it was written by a person who was a theological liberal, and his purpose was to talk about what's true and right. Now, I would never be one to question another person's salvation, but I will say that this article really didn't point people towards God. Essentially, this guy was trying to make a case for Christianity as a social justice movement. He was rejoicing over a time when politically liberal causes were on the ascendance in America, and in particular, he mentioned racial matters such as the civil rights movement and the presidency of Barack Obama. However, he's now lamenting the present time as a point of time when political liberalism is on the decline. And to back up his point, he mentioned the election of Donald Trump and America's white racism. It's what he sees as political decline that's caused his lack of Christian optimism. Now, the article's written by a man named David Gushee. He's a professor of Christian ethics at Mercer University and a senior research fellow at International Baptist Theological Study Center. Gushee's theological point of view is best described as post-evangelical progressive Christian. Now, he was originally a prominent evangelical Christian ethicist. However, it seems he underwent a major shift that led him to publicly distance himself from what he calls white American evangelicalism. Interestingly, his change wasn't driven by spiritual considerations, but rather by his social preferences. In particular, there were gay individuals that he cared for, and he really didn't like the fact that the Bible called homosexuality sin. And once he made that leap, he then went on to reject evangelical Christian beliefs. But rather than throw Christianity out altogether, he simply embraced theological liberalism. And of course, it wasn't a long step from there to embrace political liberalism. What we're looking at here has to do with a person's worldview authority source. Any belief seems right and logical if a person accepts its worldview presuppositions. And with that, anything that contradicts it seems wrong and illogical, regardless of whether or not they actually are true. But there is such a thing as objective truth, and Gushee's personal preferences are not its source. God is, and he's revealed himself as a person we can know personally. We know about him by his revelation in the Bible, but the ultimate revelation is the personal relationship we enter into with him. Market Faith Ministries is a worldview discipleship ministries, and we specialize in Christian discipleship training. We have numerous books and many free Christian discipleship resources on our ministry website, and you can find those at www.marketfaith.org. We also offer the one-day seminary for everyday believers. This training provides everyday believers the quality of background knowledge that ministry professionals get when they attend a theological school. We'd love to explore with you the possibility of bringing this to your church or Christian organization. You can find our contact information at www.marketfaith.org. Check it out, then follow us here for more practical apologetics help. This is Freddy Davis, president of Market Faith Ministries. See you next time.